I visited AEW when they were in Houston last year when I was on the road speaking. And it was just a brief visit. And I went backstage and I said hi to some old friends and all that. And it was nice. But this was a whole different deal because now Tony's pitching ideas to me.
Yeah.
Tony knows more about my career than I do, which I found pretty interesting.
What's going on, everybody? Zack Heydorn here with the Takedown on SI. And with me today, he makes his AEW in-ring debut this Wednesday, May 14th at Beach Break in Chicago. A fellow Zack Gowen. Zack, what's going on, man? How are you?
Everything's so good. The past week has been a whirlwind. It's unbelievable. Just to be sitting here with you on this platform talking about wrestling Ricochet at AEW on Wednesday is just, listen, I'm a 42-year-old tax-paying father of four. You see what I'm saying? I'm a suburban dad, brother. And the fact that over the past 3 or 4 days this has happened, this is just wild to me. But I'm so grateful.
That's so cool, man. So what is it? So just, I don't know. I mean, like you've had, you've been consistently, in and around the wrestling business. Obviously, you had that run early in your career with the WWE, and then you've been on the independents. You've worked TNA a little bit. How does it feel to be back on more of national platform like AEW?
I'm telling you, I haven't been on a national platform like this since I was 20 years old in WWE, when I was, flying around the ring with the Big Show and Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon and all those guys, So I will say this, the fact that this is happening now at 42 years old, this age, this maturity level, I have such a greater appreciation for the gift that's being presented to me than I could have ever done when I was, 20 years old. And so at the foundation of everything that I do, it's gratitude. It's just gratitude, and it's a testament to the relationships that I've built within the professional wrestling business, my reputation, and what I'm really most excited about is being able to present my story to a whole new generation of wrestling fans that have no idea who I am.
Yeah, right.
And do it in a way where I'm like 1,000% comfortable sharing it. And I'm 1,000% comfortable in my skin, which I think makes it more effective in terms of carrying a message of positivity, carrying a message of inspiration to somebody who desperately needs it.
Man, that's well said. How did the AEW opportunity come to fruition? I mean, how can you talk us through that process a little bit? How did you get, in the door with Tony Khan and the company to kind of get this opportunity rolling?
Well, I mean, I've had friends there for years, but it was never a goal of mine to, wrestle for a huge wrestling company again. I keep tabs on my friends, and I maintain relationships that are important to me. Sure. I saw that a gentleman by the name of Kevin Matthews, who's a producer and agent for AEW, an old friend of mine and a lifelong supporter of mine as well. He's done good by me throughout the years. I saw that he was in town in Detroit, my hometown, for AEW. So I hit him up and I said, "Hey man, do you want to go to lunch?" Like, I wanted to take him to lunch. And then he's like, "For sure. But what about if you did this? What about if you visited the show?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know." And he's like, "Well, what about if you wrestled a dark match on the show?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know about that." And he's like, "Well, what about if you wrestled Ricochet?" Like, he just started pitching these ideas, which, fired up my imagination. And it got me thinking. It got me hyped up, And so really, it's from that relationship that I have with Kevin and a lot of those guys that work backstage, and that was able to bring it to fruition.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you sat down with Tony Khan? Have you got to meet the man in charge?
I did. Yeah. I met Tony last year. I visited AEW when they were in Houston last year when I was on the road speaking. And it was just a brief visit. I went backstage and I said hi to some old friends and all that. And it was nice. But this was a whole different deal because now Tony's pitching ideas to me.
Yeah.
Tony knows more about my career than I do, which I found pretty interesting. The guy is just so passionate about professional wrestling. And before he could even say anything to me, I just said, thank you for providing this platform and this opportunity for all of these talented men and women on your roster, not only in the ring, but on the production side, and allowing all of these people who share the same passion of professional wrestling as you do, allowing them to make a living at professional wrestling, man. And so we had a beautiful meeting, and it was all smiles and hug after our segment. Hopefully it'll be like that on Wednesday too.
There you go. Well, you mentioned him. Ricochet is your opponent Wednesday night at Beach Break, actually in my backyard here in Chicago. So talk about him a little bit. I mean, he's just a transformative talent in ring wise, from just what he can do. And how are you going to keep up with a guy like that? And are you looking forward to getting in the ring with him?
Yes, I'm absolutely looking forward to getting in the ring with him, because Ricochet is the best wrestler in the world. And I've said that for a long, long time. I saw him put on an absolute clinic. Must have been like 2016, 2015, somewhere in New York. He wrestled the Amazing Red in one of the best matches I've ever seen live. I've seen him wrestle AJ Styles. Like obviously the talent is there, and so anytime as a talent myself, having the opportunity to get in the ring with someone like that, I think we can create magic. In terms of keeping up with him, like I said, I'm a 42-year-old one-legged father of 4. I live in the suburbs. I mow my grass and I pay taxes, so there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with him. But I've learned some things over my years in terms of like being able to form a genuine connection with the audience, the ability to tell a story, the ability to convey emotion, to take an audience on the ride. And I think with my experience and his skill level coming together, I think we're going to create magic.
Well, and he's really, I think found a new level to what he's doing. Because, I mean, obviously he's got the in-ring and everybody knows that. But since he's joined AEW, I mean, he's really, I think, found some of what you're talking about in terms of character, in terms of pulling, in this case, a negative reaction from the audience. So I feel like from a storytelling perspective, I mean, you guys got a really great foundation to work off of. People are seeing you back, for at a national level for the first time in a while, or maybe the first time ever, like you mentioned. But Ricochet, he's getting some heat these days. So like, I feel like you guys have a good foundation to build off of.
Listen, to be able to see him turn that corner is just, from my perspective, because I'm a guy who's known him for a long, long time. It just fills me with joy. And Tony Khan giving him the leash to be able to do that, I think is such, it speaks to Tony's trust and Tony's vision. And to see Ricochet grow and evolve in that role has been amazing. But yeah, like you said, the foundation is there. The story is there. I'm there to enhance that, so to speak. And really create a special moment, not only for AEW, but more specifically for Ricochet. And that's what I hope to do. I think I think it's gonna be something like nobody's ever seen before. And I think especially newer fans are gonna be blown away. And I think even older fans, the graybeards that remember me from way back in the day, yes, sir. I think we got something in store for y'all too. And cool. I just can't, this opportunity, like I said, has never been something that I dreamed about or I thought in a million years would happen. So I'm able to sit back here and enjoy literally every single moment. So when AEW PR calls me and they're like, hey, Sports Illustrated wants to do an interview, like, I don't get nervous, or I'm like, what am I going to say? Or am I going to mess this up? Or listen, I'm just like over the moon excited, because I literally thought this would never, ever happen again. And like I said, at this age of maturity, to be able to appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity that Tony has given us, and to see his passion for professional wrestling and to be a small part of that, brother, it's insane.
Well, let me dig into that a little bit. So you've mentioned it twice now. Like, you feel like obviously any 40-year-old is hopefully more mature than they were at 2022 in a perfect world. But talk about the mindset though, because you were kind of, if we can travel back 20 years, you were, dropped in the WWE at a very, very high level with top talent like Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan. Like, it's like you were just, just vaulted up. I feel like it'd be impossible to not kind of at that age have a reaction to that may not, that may not have been the most healthiest in the world. So I got a couple questions about this, but talk just about what was it like to just get plopped in to a situation like that, where you are now at the highest level with the top guys in the biggest wrestling company in the world.
It was wild. It was scary. It was amazing. It was everything all at once. And which is why I don't think I could have. I didn't appreciate the gift that was being handed, because I was so afraid that I was going to lose it.
Sure.
My whole identity was wrapped up in being a professional wrestling superstar. That's who Zack Gowen was. It took that whole career being ripped away from me. Not ripped away. I also gave it away.
Sure.
Let's not get it confused in terms of my maturity, my behavior, and all of that. I also gave it away, but I was underprepared. WWE didn't really know how to utilize the story, and so we were trying to figure it out as we went. So what you saw every single week was like us figuring it out on the fly, like I think the 17th match I ever had in my career was against the Big Show in the main event of SmackDown. And then a month later, I'm wrestling Vince McMahon live on pay-per-view in Denver, Colorado. And I'm doing acai moonsaults on a 53-year-old non-wrestler. And we're just like, what? So long story short, or long story longer, I should say. Sorry, I'm a yapper. It was just mind-blowing and insane, and not something that I could really totally grasp or appreciate until I was removed from it. But by the time I was removed from it, I was lost as a human being, because this was my dream job. This is everything that I've ever wanted was wrapped up in this occupation, in this position, and I didn't have it anymore. And I went through really, really, really dark valleys in my life, just to be able to, when I reach these peaks now in life, to have an appreciation for everything that was taken away from me, everything that was given away. It took a point where I'm 26 years old. I'm living in Detroit, Michigan. I'm living, with my drug dealer, because drugs and alcohol at this point have taken over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm delivering pizzas to make a living, not to make a living, but I'm delivering pizzas to support my habit first and foremost.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm getting robbed at gunpoint. My whole life is flashing before my eyes. And I'm sitting there and I'm crying on the porch, not because I'm sad that I'm about to get shot. I'm crying on the porch because I'm sad that this is how it's going to end. After overcoming cancer at 8 years old.
Yeah.
After becoming the world's first one-legged pro wrestling superstar, after climbing that mountain, achieving all of that at 26, this is how it's going to end. And I felt so much sadness inside for my mother, who pulled me through up until this point, and this is how it's going to end. And even that wasn't enough for me to, turn that corner into recovery, into life, and into everything. It took, for me, I had to reach a bottom where I said out loud to another individual, where I said, I'm scared, I don't know what to do, and I need help.
Yeah.
And it took me being able to reach out and ask for help, enough humility to receive help.
Right.
That was the corner I turned at 26 years old. And now it's been, I just celebrated 15 years of continuous sobriety. Wow, I get to travel the country with Cool Speak, the world's the nation's leading youth engagement company, and I get to share my story with hundreds of thousands of parents, teachers, and students from all over this country on a yearly basis, planting seeds of inspiration. So that's where that's the primary focus for me. So then when AEW happens or intercepts or intercedes, it's like, this is incredible, man. And what kind of coward would I be? What kind of message am I spreading to these students all over the country if I say, oh, I'm scared, I don't know if I'm prepared, what if I get embarrassed out there, or what if something bad happens? No. When an opportunity presents itself, you step up to the plate and you take a swing. That's and right. Win, lose, or draw, there's a W in that, just having enough courage to try. And that's the message that I want to send to the entire world, man. And AEW has given me that platform. And I'm so over the moon. So there's so many levels to this opportunity, you know, and to be able to do it in front of my children too. They get to see me wrestle for the first time. That's amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Dude, life is so amazing. And to be able to add this to it is just, I'm blown away, brother.
Man, it's really inspirational, especially, you know, your ability to kind of look back on it, look back on dark times and be able to talk about that. Is, you know, I don't want to live in this spot, but was that run in WWE or just kind of that hot start? I mean, did that contribute to you getting to that spot? Was it, or maybe was it just accumulation of that, but also other things, you know, in your life? I mean, how much do you credit like the highs and lows of the wrestling business as you know, part of why you hit rock bottom as you did?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer to that is maybe. I don't know. Okay. It certainly gave me access and funds to support that.
Sure.
You know, but I was going to be who I was going to be. You know, I've had, listen, I come from, generationally, I come from alcoholism.
Okay.
You know, and I've always responded to life a little bit different than everybody else. There's so many things, but the fact of the matter is, once I put a drink into my body, I can't with any sort of accuracy predict what's going to happen next. Mm-hmm. That's just the fact. I don't know how we got there, but that is just the fact, you know. But most importantly, when I decide that I'm not going to, you know, ruin my life and I'm not going to drink anymore and I'm going to make a change, I don't have the needed power within myself to stay stopped.
Yeah.
That's the only challenge in my life that my own willpower has. Listen, alcoholism and drug addiction has nothing to do with willpower. If there's anybody that has willpower, you're looking at them right now.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Even that applied is not enough, you know?
Yeah.
And so in terms of contributing factors, I mean, you can look at genetics, you can look at childhood trauma, you can look at cancer, you can look at, you know, being raised in a broken home, you can look at all this stuff, but who knows? The fact is that I am who I am, and with the acceptance of that comes the responsibility on me to do something about it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so back to AEW Dynamite. What can fans expect to see from you that maybe have not watched you before? As you mentioned, you know, there's a whole new crop of wrestling fans that are checking out not just AEW, but just pro wrestling in general. And you're a you know, special talent in a lot of ways. I mean, like the ultimate babyface, I think. And so, what can fans expect to see from you on Wednesday night?
They can expect to see something different, which is amazing. Like you said, the wrestling business has grown immensely since the last time I was on TV, hopping around, jumping off the top rope and doing all that, you know. But they can expect to see something entertaining, emotional, and just some amazing storytelling, you know.
Yeah.
Listen, AEW has the best wrestlers in the world when it comes to in-ring action. And if I can come in here as a unique, special character and just offer a little bit of the other side of the business, just to kind of cleanse the palate, or just to give fans a full spread on the buffet of pro wrestling, then man, I think I can provide that.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, you mix kind of like what I know I can do and what I'm good at, and you mix in with what Ricochet is good at, and I think we're going to create something really, really, really special.
Is this when you look at it, is this a one-off in your mind, or like, can this open doors for you to do more, whether it's in AEW or just pick up more indie dates? And I mean, because the independent scene is thriving right now too. I mean, how does this door opening factor into like your future? Because you're balancing a lot. You've got the speaking engagements, you've got your family, you've got your kids. I mean, is this a door opening that you hope can stay open for a while?
I don't know. If that's what it is, then that's something we'll explore. Right now, it's a one-off, and I take it one day at a time. I can't start tripping about what's going to happen or not happen in the future, because that kind of messes up my usefulness in this moment, So my whole goal is to keep my head down, do the next right thing, and try to help somebody out along the way. If something opens up, that's great. We'll have that conversation. If you ask me what my five-year plan is, I'll tell you that my 5-year plan is to get veneers that the Roman Reigns that Roman Reigns had. I want to make enough money in 5 years to be able to afford the veneers that Roman Reigns has. That's my 5-year plan.
Me too. Me too.
Brother, it's one day at a time, and I'm so grateful for each and every opportunity, and I'm going to make the most of it. And that's where my focus is.
That's fantastic. Last thing, can you talk more about your speaking engagements that you do, and the speaking work that you do? Because I mean, man, you have an inspirational story, all your entire life, inspirational on multiple levels. So just give the audience a sense of what you talk about and who you try to reach, and how often are you out on the road doing that? I'm
on the road every week. I'm on the road right now.
Okay, I kind of sense that, but yeah.
I'm in Seattle, Washington. I have the privilege and pleasure of working with Cool Speak. Cool Speak is the nation's leading youth engagement company. They took me under their wing 11 years ago, and they poured into me. And this is what I tell any audience. I go, listen, any of my victories are not mine. My victories are the result of people who supported me, people who loved me, people who poured into me, people who invested in me. And that's what Cool Speak did a long time ago, and they continue to do. And now they have me on the road every single week. I get to make a living doing what I love and having fun with over 100,000 parents, teachers, and students on a yearly basis all across the country, carrying a message of hope, carrying a message of resilience, carrying a message of the importance of self-care, the importance of leadership through service to others, which right now in the year 25 is so desperately needed, not only in our student population, but also in the staff population and the parent population as well. It's something that everybody needs to hear. And it's such a privilege and honor to be able to do that with this company, and to be on the road. And like I said, make a living. Listen, the speaking business isn't that much different than wrestling.
Sure.
You just put me in front of an audience. And now it's my job to carry them through a story, A, B, C, get them to a destination in a certain amount of time, and use tips, tools, and tricks that I've accumulated over the years. With wrestling, it's falling, on my back, and it's getting hit in the head with a steel chair. Thank God. Like I said, I'm 42 years old. We don't have to do that in the student engagement world, but we have to do something similar to create a bond with my audience and to hold their attention with the idea of delivering an impactful message. So, man, listen, there's nobody more blessed in this world than I am. Nobody. And life keeps getting more and more marvelous and more incredible each year, and I'm just so grateful for my wife, for my children, for the people in my life that, like I said, have poured into me, that believed in me, that picked me up when I fell down, that wouldn't allow me to quit,
Yeah.
And all, like I said, all of my victories are their victories. They're not mine. I'm just grateful to be here.
Fantastic. Well, everybody can see Zack Gowen tonight on the AEW Dynamite Beach Break special from Chicago, Illinois. Zack, thank you so much for your time. We're looking forward to the match, and congrats on your success. Congrats for being back in the fold, and maybe we can do this again soon.
I love it, Zach. Thank you so much, dude.
All right, man. Have a good one. See ya.
You too.